Hello, this is Music Fundamentals Week 2. I'm Richard Freeman Toole. The first lecture is called Musical Time 1, the division of the pulse. Clearly, the most fundamental parameter of music is rhythm. Rhythm comes from the body, comes from our activities. It's the parameter of music which is most relates to real life. But in order to start understanding the abstract aspect of musical rhythm, you have to be able to take real time chunks and divide them into equal divisions. So, rhythm consists of a basic pulse, a regularly recurring at equal time intervals pulse, and subdivisions of that pulse, longer and shorter groupings. Imagine a river flowing down its riverbed at a steady state. That steady state is the primary characteristic of pulse. It's steady, it's the same. So the river going down the riverbed is the pulse. Now floating on the river are these logs, and some of the logs are small and they go past quickly. Some of the logs are longer and they take longer to go by. So what we're doing when we're making musical time is we're jumping from log to log, longer logs and shorter logs, all of which are being carried along at the same rhythm, at the same real-time interval. The pulse is a real-time interval, which we then divide into smaller divisions, and we can adjust to the speed of the river so that the pulse changes, but when the pulse changes, the subdivisions change in direct proportion to the speeding up or slowing down of the pulse. Now, the easiest way to get a handle on this idea of division is to just do it. So let's take a listen to this little drum beat. There's our pulse. Each one of those pulses is a second long. There are 60 of them in a minute. Now, if we speed up the pulse, we get this. Now, this is a different speed pulse, but they're all the same. This one is going 90 beats a minute. This one here is slower. This is going 30 times a minute, which means once every 2 seconds. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1001, 1002, 1001, 1002. Now let's listen to the pulse subdivided. This file starts with a drum sound and a clapping sound. They clap together 4 times, and then you'll hear the clapping goes twice as fast as the pulse. I'll show you the pulse first. Now the pulse stays the same. The clapping is twice as fast. Show you that now. Now the subdivision. So, if you can do that, you're well on the way to understanding musical time, because almost all musical divisions are in groups of 2. Now let's listen to a pulse and clap twice as slow. So there'll be 2 pulses for every one of our claps. Again, we start with 4 claps together, and then the pulse and the clap divide. 2, 3, 4. Pulse, 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 and the clap. Now, having said that the most common division of the pulse is duple divisions, either times 2 or times half, time is also very commonly divided into groups of 3. So let's take a look at that. Here's a pulse. Here's your pulse. We've learned how to do that. Now, let's listen to the clap and see how that divides it into 3s. 3, 3, 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. The pulse stays the same. The divided into 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have just been performing a triple division, dividing a pulse into 3 equal pieces. Now let's go on with the duple division. What would be after that would be a quadruple subdivision. Here's a pulse. It doesn't hurt to practice with these things, you know. You've got them on your PowerPoint, you got them on your little PowerPoint movies, and now you have it with this. So you really need to practice this if it's not natural to you. Now here's the pulse divided into 4 equal pieces by the clap. 2, 3, 4. Pulse stays the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The pulse is divided into 4 equal pieces. You'll be able to count to 4 between each pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this next exercise is kind of fun. It has several different sounds going on at once, and your task is to be able to identify each one of them based on what we've been doing so far. Now, we have always used that bass drum beat as the pulse. So let's listen to this and find that. Boom, boom. That's the pulse. There's also a cymbal, the clapping sound we're familiar with, and a little honk. Honk, honk. So our job is to find those out of the texture and be able to separate them and clap with them. So let's clap with the clap sound first. That's dividing the pulse into 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now let's listen to the honk. Honk, 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 honk. That's 2 of the pulses. So that honk is twice as long as the honk. It would be a big long log floating down the river. Now, the last one is the cymbal. The cymbal divides the beat into 4 pieces. It's quick, so the pulse is dump, 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 dump. The cymbal goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a really fun thing to do would be to jump around from the pulse to the twice as fast pulse to the half as fast pulse to the 4 times as fast pulse. See if you can do that. Here's the pulse. Let's start with the pulse. Pulse. Twice as fast. 4 times as fast. Twice as slow. Pulse. This lecture is continued in the next movie, where we tackle the nuts and bolts of actual rhythmic notation.